Hey, welcome back to another video, and today it's the day before election day, so now it's time to rejoice. Hip hop hooray, the new president is going to come and save the day. He's going to solve all of our problems. I'm just kidding, obviously. Let me give you guys a little nugget of truth. And I've been talking to a couple people about this, and one thing that I see when I look throughout history is that anybody who was broke before the election is going to be broke after the election. Anybody who was racist before the election is still going to be racist after the election. So I'm looking at it as this is like going to be some good TV. Like somebody, one half of the country is going to be very angry after tomorrow. But anyways, we got a good net worth update today and a big announcement. The title is true. We got a big announcement, and that big announcement is that I'm going on a field trip. I'm going on an Army field trip. Obviously, I'm limited in what I can say about what is the mission and what we're doing, but I will be gone for a while, and hopefully it sounds like we're going to be able to, I'll have an opportunity to record down there. So if I have an opportunity to record down there, I will try to update you guys as much as I can, but obviously the mission comes first. But let's get into the net worth update. One of the first things that I wanted to go into with you guys is my strategy with all of this. So one of my videos a little while back, I talked about volatility and how that essentially, when things go way up, the growth stocks run up the most, but when things go down, the growth stocks go down the most. And that is exactly what we just saw. We entered correction territory last week, and it looks like the futures are up. The futures are up on the day. Today is Monday, November 2nd, as I'm recording this. But basically what I'm trying to do, what my strategy is to try to always buy what is going on sale the fastest. So if we start to see another run up, I'm going to continue to buy into value. I'm going to show you guys my portfolio today. And if we see something like a big downtrend, if we see more correction, we see a crash, I'm going to try to figure out which growth names I think are going to come out of this stronger, or at least be profitable after they come out of this. So the name of the game is buying things for cheap. So that's essentially what investing is: buying things for less than what you think they will be worth in the future, buying them for their future cash flow, and just trying to make sure that you can make a profit on the other end. So as we said earlier, this is one of my favorite websites, Investingcom. We're looking at the futures. Last Friday, the S&P was down 1.21%, and the Dow Jones was down 50.59%, or 157 points. It looks like we're up on the futures. It's going to be a big green day. For all you guys out there that don't know what the futures are, they basically predict what's going to happen in the market based on buying and selling activity. So let's go ahead and pop over here into the BECU app. By the way, BECU, it's a little West Coast bank, and if you guys want to sign up for BECU, let me know, because there is a sign up bonus, and not very many people actually have BECU. So if you're one of my in real life friends, IRL friends, let me know, because we can get a little sign up bonus there. But if not, BECU, it's a great bank. I don't think there's going to be too many locations worldwide, but I'd have to look into that. All right, so check it out. We got checking accounts are at $607.76. Those are pretty low, just because just paid the mortgage, just paid a couple bills, and I just bought into a bunch of value stocks last week. So as the market was crashing, I was buying value, and if the market continues to crash, which it's not going to today, it doesn't look like, I'm going to start to buy into a lot of big growth, non-dividend paying companies, but we'll get into that later. Fund account still at zero. Stocks account still at zero. So we are still focusing on the 401k, and we're focusing on delaying gratification until I can get to the point where I've got an emergency fund, and I'm, the business is roaring and everything is running just like I want it to run. So fund account is still zero, but I did go with my girlfriend, and we went and saw an animal sanctuary. It was pretty fun. Got to feed some goats, got to feed some llamas and whatnot.
Hello?
Is there no, there's no opening there. Okay. There's no opening there, so.
It's the little lips. Lippies.
So that was cool. you can have fun without actually spending money. So anyways, moving into savings, I did open that HM Bradley account. So if you guys didn't see that HM Bradley video, not very many people saw that video. It's actually a 3% savings account, and you just have to save a certain amount of your money that you put into that account. So if you didn't watch that video, go back and watch that video. HM Bradley is a good opportunity. So we got 200 in there. We got 500 in Ally Bank. They're paying about 0.6% interest right now. And then my BECU savings account is a 2% savings account if you keep it at 500. So the first 500 is 2%. And then after that, it's reduced to basically nothing. So cash rewards. So credit card rewards are at 833. That's up from about 256 last month. Investment portfolios at 53,000 here. So what I've been doing is trying to go into on the 401k. I've got about 3,300 left on the 401k, so I should be done in about a month or so. I've been putting in 60% of my check from work, but as you guys know, if you're not new here, work is not the only way that I make my money. Individual account. So I finally went and started an individual account. I've got $4,100 in there, $4,187, and that's where I've been buying the value stocks, and we'll go into that and we'll see what I've been buying and what I'm interested in buying. Roth IRA, that was transferred over to M1 Finance from M1 Finance, which, by the way, I've been transferring out of the millennial brokerages, out of the M1 Finance, your Robinhoods, all that stuff. So I decided to go ahead and put on my big boy pants. Lending Club over here. Lending Club is still a disaster as always. I'm just waiting until that pays me out. M1 Finance, somebody did sign up for M1 Finance, and that was able to get me that $10 bonus. So if you guys do want to sign up for it, it still will get you the $10 bonus. And I will be making a growth pie in M1 Finance. So if the market does continue to fall, I will be putting money into that growth pie just because I do like their pie system. So the last thing here, so TSP. TSP is the Thrift Savings Plan, or in other words, it's a government 401k. So that is a Roth 401k essentially, and we got 7,800 in there. The Washington Get program is basically it's the guaranteed education tuition program. So it's basically the 529 for Washington. So I can use that to go ahead and raise my education if I decide to do that, or I can transfer it to a kid, or I can transfer it to a family member. Webull, we got $0 in there. Don't necessarily like that brokerage, but I do have an affiliate link for them if you want to sign up, get the free stocks. It's usually worth about $20, and then if you want to, you can just clean that account out and just send it back to yourself. That's some free money there for you if you want it. Property. So this is where a lot of the increase came from in the net worth, and it is because last time, if you guys were here, what I was essentially undergoing was a refinance. So I didn't know what the loan amount was going to be. I didn't know what the comp sales in my area were, but the house across the street is essentially the same house. Like, we have houses that are very similar, like literally they're the same house. So they just sold their house for $261,000. So I just put my house to that value, and based on the loan amount, which is down over here, it's at $249,000. That was able to bump me up in equity. So I basically, last month, I assumed that I had zero equity. So I think the net worth was about $60,000 or something like that. But this month it's going to be a little bit better, and we'll get into that later in the video. Credit cards, I mean, $187 is what I owe on my credit cards, but I pay those off every month. And loans, only loan that I have really is my mortgage. So all that said, let's go down here to the net worth. The net worth is up only $269 from previous month. Obviously, it's only the second, haven't been paid this month, but we're at $79,136. So I should be paid this week. It looks like we're going to be hitting over six figures. If not this year, probably early next year. So I'm hoping for January or February. So let's go ahead and pop into this brokerage account. And I've got a lot of good stuff to share with you guys as far as this brokerage account. Because I just want to show you the strategy. So these are the stocks that I've been buying in my individual account. So we've got AT&T, Altria, Bank of America, Cisco, and Intel. So AT&T is a communications company. Altria, some people don't know what that is. It's a cigarette company, basically. They sell Marlboro. They've had some bad press recently with their Juul acquisition, and they've had to write it down a couple times. But if you look at historical performance, Altria is one of the best performing stocks of all time, just because they give so much cash back to the shareholders. Bank of America is under fire, but I really like it. I like Bank of America, and it's been selling really cheap recently. Cisco Systems, and I mean, honestly, if we really know what's going on, we know that things like Bank of America, they're not going under because the government won't let them. But anyways, Cisco Systems, I like their valuation right now. Just bought a couple more shares. And let's see, Intel Corporation, they are getting hammered right now. So basically all of these value plays, there's either something that's going on that I think will be reversed in the future, or they're just selling for really cheap, throwing off a lot of cash right now. So let's try to see if I can't see my old orders. So yeah, recently, what is this? I believe this is Friday. Friday is when the market was the lowest. It looks like it's about to go back up. I had to get in there, had to buy some shares, so I bought some Intel, bought 2 shares of Intel, bought 5 shares of Altria, bought 4 shares of AT&T. So let's go into the Roth IRA, which this is one that I really wanted to show you guys, because the Roth IRA is technically outperforming the market, but there's a reason for it. The reason for it is because I'm only about 20 or 25% stocks right now. So let's see. Yeah, I'm only, of 15,000, I'm only about 3,000 in stocks right now. So that's about, 20%, a little bit over 20%. So stocks that we got in there: Apple, Berkshire Hathaway, Facebook, Microsoft, Starbucks, Tesla, Visa, Walmart, Disney, and Waste Management. So I probably want to add some Adobe at some point and some other stocks that did not transfer over from M1 Finance, but we will do that later. Right now, the main point that I wanted to get across is that most of my money right now is in these 3 to 7 year treasury bonds, which are pretty much cash equivalents. It's a little bit above a cash equivalent. We've got the commodities index, got about $1,000 in there, $1,400 in the 3 to 7 year treasuries. Silver, we got $1,400 in silver. Schwab short-term treasury bond. So this is basically cash, right? So basically how bond prices work is when you're buying a bond, you're buying a loan to somebody else. So you want to make money on that loan. So you're going to get paid out interest while that loan exists. And also the face value pays out at a bond. So let's say you're buying a $10 bond and it's going to pay out $10 in a year. You want to buy it for less than $10 so that you can get paid that $10 in a year, because it accounts for that risk. So when you've got ultra short term loans where the principal amount is going to be paid out really shortly, the value of it, you're not getting that much of a premium because there's a good chance you're going to get your money back. So as far as adjusting for risk, the price doesn't really change that much. So that's why these are pretty much like cash. As you can see, it moved 0% as the market was tanking. So the reason why I'm outperforming right now is because I'm in things like gold. We got 2,800 in gold, and we've got corporate bonds here, 1,500 in corporate bonds. So this bottom part was up 0.1% as the market slid, and these tech stocks slid 2.47%. So if you look at overall, it went down 0.45%. But if we pop over here and we look at what the indices did, the S&P was down 1.21%. Yeah, the S&P was down 1.21%. I can't find the NASDAQ. Right now, I'm kind of a risk off. So that's the kind of the update for today. A little bit shorter of an update today. I'm looking at value. I'm looking at all those stocks that I showed you that I'm currently buying. I'm also looking at Kimberly-Clark. I like Kimberly-Clark in this market. It just looks like really good. It looks like it has a really good valuation. Last time I checked, I think it has a forward PE of 20. So I will be looking to add to Kimberly-Clark. And if we do take a slide, I'll be looking to add to growth. So anyways, hopefully you guys like this video. Don't get too crazy out there. Don't be, involved in those riots. I really hope that you guys all stay safe. I hope you guys have a good week, even if your candidate loses, because I'm going to have a great week no matter who wins. I'm just going to be sitting back laughing from my desk. But anyways, you guys have a good day. Join the Facebook if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Wait a minute, I almost forgot. I got to show you guys my dividend tracker, and then I'll see you in the next video. Alrighty guys, so this is the dividend tracker. Essentially what we got here is, this is what stock I'm looking at, or this is the name of the company rather. I should just put company. That's the ticker symbol. Shares owned, average cost, that's the average, the amount that I paid. Capital invested, so that's just easy. You just take shares owned, average cost, multiply those. Percentage of my total portfolio allocation. So this is my individual account that we're talking about. Quarterly dividend, which I have to adjust that for monthly dividends. Dividend paid, right? Quarterly, monthly, none. And this is a calculator that I made that tells me at what price would this stock be yielding 3.5%. Yield on cost is, it tells me how much cash I'm getting paid based on essentially what I paid for it. So a yield on cost of 1% would be if you bought something that costs $100 and it pays a $1 dividend, that would be a 1% yield on cost. Monthly cash flow, that tells me how much per month on average that a position is paying out. So AT&T here, we got 74 shares, and we've got monthly, it pays out about $12.83. So same thing for Altria here, we got 40 shares. Monthly on average, it pays out $11.47. So Cisco, same thing over here, we got $1.20. But if you add all of them up down here, we got the annual cash flow and the monthly cash flow. So 361 annual and monthly is 26.35. The way that I like to look at it is if I were to multiply this by 12, this annual cash flow, I would be able to get that monthly. So I'm already getting it right now, but just through having a roommate, through house hacking, $775 a month. So if we just took 775 plus this, okay, or 775 instead of 775. Man, I'm terrible at this. Equals 775 plus this, right? If I were to just 12x this amount, the 4,400, right? If I were to just take this times 12, with the same portfolio, if I put 53 grand in next year, I'd be making $1,136 a month for snoring. So if my expenses are, let's see, my expenses are about $2,500 a month, right? Minus this, I essentially only have to make this amount per month. So essentially I'd have to make like $400 a week to survive. And that's not much. So anyways, hopefully you guys like this video. And if you guys want me to send you this spreadsheet, you guys can obviously take all this stuff out. You can change anything in here to suit your needs specifically. But if you guys like this, you can send it to me. Just message me on Instagram. Put my Instagram on the screen here. And I'll see you guys in the next video.